What if just a handful of words could completely shift the way you see the world? Imagine uncovering ideas so powerful that they could transform how you approach challenges, relationships, and even your own happiness. Stoicism, a philosophy born thousands of years ago, offers exactly that timeless wisdom that resonates as deeply today as it did in ancient times. This isn't about dusty textbooks or abstract theories. It's about practical, life-changing insights from some of history's greatest minds. In this video, we're diving into 15 profound Stoic quotes that could challenge everything you thought you knew and inspire you to live a richer, more intentional life. Each quote holds a lesson, a perspective, or a question that might just reframe the way you think. So, are you ready to explore these timeless ideas and see your world in a whole new light? Let's get started. Now turning to the first quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By Marcus Aurelius, we uncover a fundamental Stoic principle, the distinction between what lies within our control and what does not. This quote is a timeless reminder that true power comes from mastering our inner world, not attempting to control external circumstances. Imagine being stuck in traffic on a day when you're already feeling overwhelmed. You can either let frustration take over, blaming the situation for ruining your mood, or you can shift your focus inward, accepting what you cannot change and choosing to stay calm. This simple yet profound shift in perspective frees you from unnecessary anger or stress. When we stop wasting energy on things we cannot influence and instead focus on our thoughts, emotions, and reactions, we unlock a resilience that can weather any storm. Marcus Aurelius invites us to reclaim our strength not through controlling the uncontrollable, but through mastering our minds. Moving forward, let's explore how this principle applies in daily life to transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Moving forward, let's uncover practical strategies to bring Marcus Aurelius' wisdom into our everyday lives. One powerful technique is mindfulness, the practice of staying present and observing your thoughts without judgment. Imagine being in a heated argument where emotions are running high. Instead of reacting impulsively, mindfulness allows you to pause, take a deep breath, and respond with clarity rather than anger. Another tool is journaling, where you can reflect on your challenges and consciously reframe your perspective. For instance, if you faced rejection, writing about it could help you see it as an opportunity to grow or redirect your efforts towards something more meaningful. Finally, reframing difficulties is key. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, who endured unimaginable hardship in a concentration camp and yet found meaning through his inner resilience. He exemplified that while we cannot control our circumstances, we can control how we perceive and respond to them. By practicing these techniques, you empower yourself to rise above adversity, proving that the strength of your mind truly becomes your greatest ally. As we delve deeper, let's consider another Stoic insight that reshapes how we view life's events altogether. Now turning to the timeless words of Epictetus, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." We are reminded that life's events carry no inherent meaning until we assign one to them. Imagine losing out on a job opportunity you desperately wanted. One person might see this as a devastating failure, sinking into frustration and self-doubt. Another might view it as a chance to refine their skills or discover new paths they hadn't considered. The event itself remains the same, but the contrasting reactions lead to entirely different outcomes. This quote nudges us to recognize that we hold the power to frame every situation in a way that serves our growth. Instead of being dragged down by external circumstances, we can choose to see them as stepping stones. This shift in perspective doesn't come naturally. It requires conscious effort and an understanding that our interpretations are often the key to our peace of mind. By embracing this mindset, we unlock resilience and transform challenges into opportunities for empowerment and self-improvement. Moving forward, let's explore how this perspective can redefine the way we approach negative experiences. helping us uncover the hidden lessons and strengths within them. Moving forward, let's delve deeper into reframing negative situations and embracing the powerful Stoic concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. At its core, this idea encourages us not just to accept whatever happens, but to wholeheartedly embrace it as necessary and meaningful. Picture a time when something unexpected derailed your plans, like missing an important flight or losing a significant relationship. Instead of dwelling on the loss or the inconvenience, amor fati invites us to see these events as threads in the larger tapestry of our lives, each with a purpose, whether obvious or hidden. It's not about passive resignation, but about finding value and opportunity in every twist and turn. For instance, consider someone who starts a business and faces an early failure. They could view this as a dead end, giving up entirely, or they could reframe it as a learning experience, refining their approach and building something even stronger. When we practice amor fati, life's challenges become fuel for growth, resilience, and gratitude. This mindset allows us to stop resisting reality and start working with it, cultivating peace and strength no matter the circumstances. By loving our fate, we transform obstacles into stepping stones, setbacks into lessons, and the unpredictable nature of life into a partner in our journey toward inner fulfillment. Now let's turn to another Stoic gem that urges us to move beyond debate and into action, inspiring us to not just think about virtues, but to live them every single day. Now turning to the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. This quote carries a powerful call to action, urging us to stop merely discussing virtues and start embodying them in our daily lives. Instead of philosophizing endlessly about what it means to be good, this wisdom challenges us to live out those ideals through our actions. Imagine someone who spends hours debating the concept of kindness but hesitates to lend a helping hand when the opportunity arises. The Stoic approach flips this dynamic, encouraging us to act first and worry less about how those actions are perceived. Being kind, honest, or generous, not for applause or acknowledgement, but simply because it is the right thing to do, is the essence of true virtue. For instance, think of a person anonymously donating to someone in need, asking for nothing in return. That act, free from the burden of external validation, speaks louder than words ever could. When we embody virtues like patience, humility, or courage, we not only transform ourselves but inspire others to do the same. It's a ripple effect that starts with one deliberate choice to live authentically. This quote reminds us that life is too short for empty debates when we have the power to shape the world for the better through our deeds. As we put this wisdom into practice, let's explore how small, consistent actions can build character and bring the concept of virtue to life in ways that resonate far beyond ourselves. Moving forward, let's delve into how small, consistent actions can truly shape our character and bring the idea of virtue to life in a tangible way. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. Start each day by setting a clear intention, perhaps to be more patient, kinder, or more honest in your interactions. Write it down, say it aloud, or simply hold it in your mind as a guiding principle for the day. At the end of the day, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, did I live up to my intentions? Where did I succeed? And where can I improve tomorrow? This habit of daily reflection not only fosters self-awareness but also creates a sense of accountability to yourself. Now consider this story. A school teacher named Maria wanted to embody kindness more in her life. She began each day reminding herself to look for small opportunities to help others. One morning, she noticed a student struggling with self-confidence and offered a few encouraging words. Over time, these small acts of kindness created a ripple effect. Her students began to mirror her behavior, becoming more supportive and compassionate toward one another. Maria's consistent actions didn't just build her own character, they transformed the atmosphere around her. This is the power of walking the talk. When we align our daily actions with the values we hold dear, we not only become better versions of ourselves but also inspire those around us to do the same. It's not about grand gestures or perfection, but about showing up each day with deliberate effort to live according to our principles. Now turning to the profound words of Marcus Aurelius, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," we are reminded of the undeniable link between what we think and how we feel. Imagine this: your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of positivity, gratitude, and growth, it flourishes. But if you allow weeds of negativity, fear, or self-doubt to grow unchecked, they can overrun everything. The significance of this quote lies in the realization that we have a choice. We may not control every situation, but we can control how we frame it in our minds. For instance, think about a moment when something didn't go as planned. Instead of spiraling into frustration, consider reframing it as a lesson or an opportunity to adapt. This shift in perspective can transform an otherwise discouraging moment into one of growth and resilience. To actively cultivate quality thoughts, daily practices like journaling or meditation can be immensely helpful. Journaling allows you to pour your thoughts onto paper, making it easier to spot patterns and redirect your focus towards something more constructive. Meditation, on the other hand, helps you create a quiet space in your mind, teaching you to observe your thoughts without being consumed by them. Let's take the story of Alex as an example. A freelance writer overwhelmed with rejections, Alex made the decision to shift his mindset. Each rejection became a stepping stone to improving his craft rather than a sign of failure. He began each day by writing 3 positive affirmations in his journal and spent 10 minutes meditating to clear his mind. Over time, these small changes not only improved his outlook but also significantly boosted his creativity and resilience. This is the transformative power of focusing on the quality of your thoughts. By choosing to nurture constructive thinking, you're not just improving your own happiness but also creating a ripple effect that can uplift those around you. So, as you go through your day, ask yourself this simple question: are my thoughts working for me or against me? If they're not serving you, remember that it's never too late to change the narrative in your mind. Moving forward, let us delve deeper into mastering your thought patterns, a cornerstone for mental and emotional well-being. Recognizing and replacing negative thought patterns starts with a simple yet profound practice: awareness. Think of your mind as a constant stream of thoughts, some positive, others negative. The key is learning to observe this flow without judgment, identifying patterns that may be holding you back. For instance, if you find yourself frequently thinking, "I am not good enough" or "I always fail," take a step back and challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Often, our negative conclusions are based on assumptions rather than facts. This is where techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy exercises can be incredibly effective. One simple exercise is to write down a negative thought and then counter it with evidence that disproves or challenges it. For example, replace "I never succeed" with "I have succeeded many times before, and each failure teaches me something valuable." Affirmations, too, are a powerful tool in this process. By repeatedly telling yourself phrases like "I am capable," "I am resilient," or "I am worthy of happiness," you start to rewire your brain for positivity. Let's take a real-life example to illustrate this. Imagine Sarah, a teacher who often felt overwhelmed by her workload and plagued with thoughts of inadequacy. Instead of letting these feelings consume her, Sarah started a daily habit of writing down one negative thought, dissecting it, and reframing it into a more constructive perspective. She also began her mornings with affirmations that boosted her confidence, such as "I am making a difference" and "I am strong." Within a few weeks, this shift in her thought patterns not only improved her mental clarity, but also increased her effectiveness and joy at work. The transformation didn't stop there. It positively impacted her students, who noticed her renewed energy and passion for teaching. This highlights how mastering your thought patterns doesn't just enhance your own life but creates a ripple effect on those around you. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. Whether it's through journaling, cognitive exercises, or affirmations, each step you take towards reshaping your thoughts is a step towards a happier, more fulfilling life. So, the next time you catch yourself in the loop of negativity, pause, reflect, and remember, you hold the power to change the narrative. Now turning to the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, his words, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it," serve as a profound reminder of the importance of integrity in our daily lives. At its core, this quote highlights the value of aligning our actions and words with our moral compass. But what does this look like in practice? Imagine a common situation, like being tempted to tell a white lie to avoid an uncomfortable conversation. It may feel harmless in the moment, but such choices can erode trust over time. Now picture an alternative, pausing, reflecting, and choosing honesty even when it's difficult. Not only does this build stronger relationships, but it also fosters a sense of self-respect. Another example might involve cutting corners at work, such as skipping important steps in a project to save time. While it might seem efficient, it risks compromising the final quality and your credibility. Instead, taking the time to do what is right, even when no one is watching, reinforces a reputation of reliability and ethical conduct. These everyday moral dilemmas challenge us to act with integrity, and by choosing the path of honesty and righteousness, we not only uphold our values but also create a ripple effect of trust and respect in the world around us. This is not about perfection, but about striving to do better moment by moment, decision by decision. In essence, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the principles we live by define not only how others perceive us, but also how we perceive ourselves. By committing to what is right and true, we build a life of authenticity and unwavering character. Moving forward, let's delve deeper into what it means to live with integrity through the Stoic lens. At its heart, living authentically and truthfully is not merely about grand gestures or public displays of virtue. Instead, it is the quiet, consistent practice of aligning your actions with your values, even when no one is watching. Consider the story of Cincinnatus, a Roman statesman admired by the Stoics. When called upon to lead during a time of war, he temporarily set aside his humble life as a farmer to serve his people. Yet, after fulfilling his duty with honor, he relinquished power and returned to his simple life, resisting the temptation of personal gain. His unwavering moral compass made him a timeless symbol of integrity and humility. On a personal level, living authentically begins with small, deliberate choices. For instance, keeping promises, even those that seem trivial, demonstrates reliability and builds trust. Think of someone who commits to helping a friend move despite being exhausted after a long week. Carrying through not only strengthens the friendship but also enhances self-respect, knowing they stayed true to their word. Similarly, choosing to speak truthfully, even when it is inconvenient, fosters authenticity in relationships. Imagine someone at work admitting an error instead of shifting blame. While it might feel uncomfortable in the moment, their honesty earns respect and fosters a culture of accountability. These examples remind us that integrity is not about perfection, but about striving for alignment between our words and actions day by day. By embracing the Stoic commitment to truth and morality, we cultivate a life of trust, respect, and inner peace. This notion of living with integrity challenges us not only to act virtuously, but to embody these principles so deeply that they become second nature. With this foundation of truth and authenticity, we create a legacy rooted in unwavering moral strength. Now turning to Seneca's profound words, "He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive," we uncover a core principle of Stoic philosophy, the importance of confronting our fear of mortality. To the Stoics, the inevitability of death is not a source of despair but a call to action. a reminder to live boldly and purposefully. Consider how much energy is lost when we dwell on the fear of the unknown or the end itself. This fear can paralyze decision-making, causing us to delay dreams, avoid risks, and settle for mediocrity. But what if instead we accepted the certainty of death as a motivator to fully embrace life's fleeting opportunities? Imagine someone who has always wanted to pursue a creative passion like painting or writing, but has held back out of fear of failure or judgment. By acknowledging that life is finite, they might find the courage to take that first step, understanding that the worst regret is not trying at all. Similarly, think of an individual who has long dreamed of traveling to a far-off destination, but is deterred by logistical challenges or the fear of stepping into the unfamiliar. When reminded of life's brevity, they might realize the value of seizing the moment, knowing that tomorrow is never guaranteed. The Stoics often practiced memento mori, or the contemplation of mortality, as a way to put their priorities in sharp focus. By actively acknowledging our temporary existence, we can begin to dismantle fear and replace it with gratitude for each moment. It's this shift in mindset that allows us to break free from the shackles of hesitation and live with courage and intention. Ultimately, Seneca's insight challenges us to view death not as an obstacle but as a guidepost, redirecting our focus from fear to action, from merely existing to truly living with purpose. Moving forward, let's delve deeper into how the practice of memento mori, or remembering mortality, can transform fear into a powerful source of gratitude and purpose. This Stoic technique is not about dwelling on doom, but rather about gaining clarity on what truly matters. For instance, picture someone who, after reflecting on their own mortality, decides to reconcile with an estranged loved one. They realize that holding onto grudges wastes precious time, and instead they choose to prioritize connection and forgiveness. Similarly, consider a person who has spent years in a job they dislike, postponing their dreams for someday. By embracing the concept of life's impermanence, they may finally take the leap to pursue a career that aligns with their passions and values, understanding that the perfect moment may never come. This mindset is also evident in how great artists, thinkers, and leaders have drawn inspiration from mortality. Take the example of Steve Jobs, who famously spoke about how reflecting on death motivated him to follow his heart and live authentically. By recognizing life's finite nature, he was able to focus on what truly mattered, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire millions. On a simpler level, practicing gratitude every day can be a way to honor the fleeting nature of life. The next time you enjoy a quiet moment of laughter with friends or the beauty of a sunset, remind yourself that these moments are not endless, and their impermanence is precisely what makes them so valuable. The act of contemplating your mortality isn't meant to induce fear, but to awaken a sense of urgency to live fully and intentionally. It encourages us to strip away the distractions and superficial concerns that often consume us and focus instead on the relationships, goals, and values that define a life well lived. In essence, by embracing mortality, we gain the freedom to live courageously, love deeply, and act purposefully, forging a path that is both meaningful and fulfilling. Now turning to the next profound insight, the words of Epictetus remind us that man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. This quote powerfully highlights how often the root of our stress lies not in reality, but in our own minds. Think, for example, of a situation where you are waiting for feedback from your boss. Instead of calmly awaiting the response, your mind starts spinning scenarios. What if they disliked my work? What if I am about to lose my job? Hours or even days might pass, consumed by this mental spiral, only to find that the actual feedback is constructive and far from the disaster you imagined. This principle applies to so many instances in life. Picture someone overthinking a minor disagreement with a friend, reimagining the conversation repeatedly and worrying that the friendship is at risk. In reality, the friend might not even remember the incident or could be waiting for a simple apology. The crux of this quote is Epictetus urging us to step back and question our own perceptions. Are we reacting to what is real or the story we are creating in our heads? The ability to separate a real issue from an imagined one is a powerful skill. By doing so, we begin to free ourselves from the unnecessary weight of imagined fears and focus on what actually needs our attention. In essence, the Stoics teach us that peace of mind often comes not from changing external circumstances, but from shifting how we perceive and respond to them. It's a reminder to pause, breathe, and ask ourselves if the storm we're bracing for actually exists, or if it's just a cloud in our mind. This not only reduces unnecessary suffering, but also enables us to approach life's challenges with a clear and steady mindset, ready to tackle what truly matters. Moving forward, overcoming imagined anxieties requires more than just recognizing them. It calls for actionable steps to regain control over our minds. One such method is meditation. By sitting quietly and focusing on your breath, meditation helps to anchor you in the present, pulling your thoughts away from spiraling into an unknown future. This practice trains your mind to observe thoughts as they come and go, allowing you to notice anxious patterns without being consumed by them. Another powerful approach is rational inquiry. When faced with overwhelming fears, ask yourself questions like, is this worry based on evidence or is it just speculation? Breaking down fears with logic often reveals how exaggerated or unfounded they truly are. For instance, someone might fear public speaking because they believe they will forget every word and embarrass themselves. By questioning this belief, they might realize they have successfully spoken in front of others before, and that even if mistakes happen, they are rarely as catastrophic as imagined. Exposure therapy is another tool to consider. Gradually facing what you fear in a controlled and intentional way can help diminish anxiety over time. Take someone who is afraid of flying. By first learning about how planes operate, then sitting in a stationary aircraft, and finally taking a short flight, they can slowly replace fear with familiarity and confidence. Real-life examples further bring these ideas to light. Consider a young woman who is terrified of social situations due to imagined judgments from others. Through Stoic practices, she begins applying rational inquiry, challenging these thoughts by asking if she truly knows what others think. She also practices exposure by starting small, like attending a gathering with 1 or 2 friends before gradually expanding to larger events. With time, she discovers that much of her fear was rooted in her imagination rather than reality. These methods, rooted in Stoic wisdom, teach us that by addressing anxiety through intentional actions, we reclaim power over our mind. It's not about eliminating fear completely, but learning to navigate it with calmness and clarity. These tools remind us that imagined anxieties lose their grip when we choose mindfulness, logic, and deliberate action. Now turning to another profound Stoic insight, Seneca's timeless words, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," serve as a powerful reminder of how our minds can trap us in a cycle of unnecessary pain. How often do we find ourselves envisioning worst-case scenarios, creating vivid mental scripts of disasters that never actually come to pass? Consider someone preparing for a job interview. Days before it even happens, they might spiral into thoughts of stumbling over every answer, being met with disapproving stares, and walking away in humiliation. Yet, in reality, the interview could unfold as a positive, even empowering experience. This common habit of catastrophizing magnifies our fears and paralyzes our ability to act. Another example lies in procrastination rooted in fear. Imagine a student delaying their project because they are so consumed by the possibility of failure. They might picture harsh criticism or a low grade that damages their self-esteem. Ironically, this avoidance often leads to the very outcome they dread. Stoicism teaches us to challenge these imagined fears by grounding ourselves in reality. Instead of succumbing to what might happen, we can refocus on what we know to be true. For instance, the individual fearing a job interview might recall their past achievements and prepare thoughtfully, knowing that they've tackled challenges before. The student delaying their work could remind themselves that starting small often builds momentum and that feedback, even critical, is an opportunity to grow. By shining a light on these fear-driven scenarios, Seneca's quote encourages us to question the validity of our worries and distinguish between what is real and what is simply a product of our imagination. When we learn to separate fact from fiction, we free ourselves from the unnecessary suffering that our minds often impose upon us. With this perspective, we move closer to living with clarity, resilience, and purpose, unburdened by the weight of imagined troubles. Moving forward, let us delve deeper into conquering fear through rational reflection, as inspired by the wisdom of Stoicism. The technique of separating facts from assumptions stands at the core of this practice. Often, our minds blur the line between what is real and what we merely imagine. Stoics urge us to pause and examine our thoughts with clarity. For instance, the next time you find yourself anxious about a situation, try asking, "What do I know for certain?" What is speculation? By focusing on the tangible facts, we can strip away the layers of fear that stem from baseless assumptions. One powerful exercise in Stoic practice is the premeditation of evils. This involves envisioning potential setbacks or challenges in advance, not to dwell on them, but to prepare ourselves emotionally and mentally. Imagine someone planning to start a new business venture. Instead of ignoring the possibility of failure, they calmly consider potential hurdles like financial difficulties or market competition. This reflection helps them devise strategies and prepare solutions, transforming fear into actionable plans. Through this process, they gain confidence, knowing that they have anticipated obstacles and are ready to face them head-on. Similarly, when fear arises, logical reasoning can act as a tool to dissolve it. If we are afraid of public speaking, instead of fixating on the fear of forgetting our lines or being judged, we could remind ourselves of past occasions where we communicated effectively. By anchoring our fears in evidence and logic, we reduce their power over us. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. Through rational reflection, we reclaim control over situations that once seemed overwhelming. We learn to address life's uncertainties with a calm, prepared mind, ensuring that fear does not dictate our actions. Remember, fear often thrives in the shadows of ambiguity, and by illuminating it with the light of reason, we take a bold step toward resilience and strength. Now turning to the next profound lesson, let us reflect on the words of Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This timeless quote challenges us to reconsider the meaning of wealth and poverty. In a world where material possessions are often equated with success, Stoicism invites us to pause and reevaluate. True poverty, as Seneca suggests, lies not in scarcity but in insatiable desire. Consider someone chasing endless material wealth, always yearning for a bigger house, a faster car, or the latest gadget. Despite accumulating so much, they never feel fulfilled because their focus remains on what they lack rather than what they have. Contrast this with an individual who, though living modestly, finds joy in simple pleasures like a walk in nature, a heartfelt conversation, or quiet moments of gratitude. Their inner peace stems from contentment, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics remind us that cravings for more often lead to a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. They teach us that by appreciating what we already have, we free ourselves from the cycle of endless wanting. Imagine someone choosing a minimalist lifestyle, letting go of excess belongings and focusing instead on meaningful experiences. Through this simplicity, they often discover a sense of freedom and clarity, unburdened by the weight of unnecessary possessions. The pursuit of materialism can trap us in a race with no finish line, but Stoicism offers a way out. By shifting our attention away from external luxuries and toward internal richness, we redefine what it means to live a fulfilling life. This quote encourages us to ask ourselves, are we truly poor because of what we lack, or are we rich because of what we already have? In embracing contentment, we unlock a deeper sense of happiness, one that no wealth can buy. Let this perspective guide us as we strive to value simplicity over excess and gratitude over greed. Moving forward, let us delve deeper into the power of gratitude as a remedy for excessive desires. The Stoics remind us that gratitude is not just a fleeting act of saying thank you, but a transformative practice that shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance. By focusing on what we already have, we begin to see the richness in our lives and break free from the endless cycle of wanting more. One simple yet profound way to cultivate gratitude is through journaling. Consider taking a moment each day to write down 3 things you are thankful for, no matter how small they may seem: a sunny morning, a kind word from a friend, or even the food on your plate. This practice trains the mind to seek positivity and rewires our focus toward appreciation rather than longing. Another method is pausing to appreciate simple pleasures in real time. Imagine someone walking through a park, stopping to admire the vibrant colors of the flowers or the soothing sound of birds chirping. Such moments, though ordinary, can fill the heart with a sense of contentment when approached with gratitude. To illustrate how powerful this mindset can be, let's consider the story of a man who decided to leave behind his high-paying corporate job and downsize his life. He moved to a small cabin in the countryside, trading material comforts for moments of simplicity and connection with nature. Initially, the adjustment was challenging, but over time, he discovered a profound joy in things he had previously overlooked: the beauty of a starlit sky, the rhythm of the seasons, and the satisfaction of living with less. Through gratitude, he found a peace that no amount of wealth had ever provided. Gratitude, as the Stoics teach us, is the key to unlocking happiness that is not dependent on external circumstances but rooted in the richness of the present moment. It allows us to see that what we have is already enough. As we reflect on this, let us ask ourselves, what would change in our lives if we stopped chasing more and started appreciating what we already have? By embracing gratitude, we not only combat the cravings for excess, but also create a life filled with meaning and joy. Let this serve as a reminder that true wealth often lies not in accumulating more, but in cherishing what we already possess. Now turning to the profound words of Epictetus, "No man is free who is not master of himself," we are invited to explore the fascinating relationship between freedom and self-mastery. At first glance, freedom might seem like the absence of constraints, the ability to do whatever we please. But Stoicism challenges this notion, teaching us that true freedom lies not in external liberties but in mastering our inner world. Without discipline and self-control, we become slaves to our own impulses, whether it is indulging in unhealthy habits, succumbing to anger, or procrastinating on responsibilities. Freedom, as the Stoics define it, is the power to act in alignment with our values rather than being ruled by fleeting desires. Imagine someone trying to wake up early to pursue a goal, like exercising or working on a side project. If they repeatedly hit the snooze button, they might feel momentarily comfortable, but over time, they're likely to experience frustration at their lack of progress. Contrast this with someone who exercises discipline, getting out of bed despite the initial urge to sleep longer. That small act of self-mastery leads to a sense of accomplishment, growth, and ultimately a deeper freedom to create the life they desire. Self-control is not about deprivation, it is about choosing what serves our greater purpose. The Stoics often likened life to a ship or a chariot without a steady hand to steer. It would drift aimlessly or crash. Similarly, without self-mastery, our lives can be pulled in conflicting directions, leaving us feeling lost or trapped. A practical way to develop self-control is by building small, consistent habits. Start with achievable goals like limiting distractions for a set period each day or practicing patience in minor frustrations. Over time, these small victories cultivate the inner strength needed to tackle bigger challenges. Another tool is reflection at the end of the day. Assess where your actions aligned with your values and where they strayed. This practice not only sharpens awareness but also reinforces the connection between self-discipline and freedom. Through mastering ourselves, we unlock the autonomy to live intentionally, free from the chains of mindless impulses. Let us take a moment to reflect on our own lives. Are we steering our ship with purpose, or are we letting the winds of distraction and desire dictate our course? By embracing self-mastery, we can achieve a freedom that is far more profound than any external circumstance could provide. It is this freedom, the ability to be the captain of our own lives, that the Stoics encourage us to pursue. Moving forward, let us delve deeper into the practical strategies for building self-mastery, a cornerstone of Stoic freedom. One of the most effective ways to cultivate discipline is by adopting habit-building techniques. Start small and specific. Focus on one action you can repeat daily, like setting aside 10 minutes to meditate or writing down 3 tasks to accomplish each morning. By consistently reinforcing these actions, they become second nature, gradually strengthening your ability to follow through on larger commitments. Another powerful strategy is practicing delayed gratification. This is the conscious decision to forego immediate pleasure for a greater long-term reward, a principle that lies at the heart of self-control. Take, for example, the story of successful individuals across various fields who resisted short-term temptations to achieve their ultimate goals. Whether it is an athlete training rigorously instead of indulging in comfort, or an entrepreneur sacrificing leisure to build their vision, each demonstrates the transformative power of choosing discipline over distraction. But self-mastery is not just about rigid control, it is about understanding yourself deeply enough to guide your actions with intention. Reflect on the moments when you feel tempted to stray from your path. Are those impulses rooted in fatigue, stress, or a search for validation? By identifying these triggers, you can create strategies to address their root causes, enabling you to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Visualization can also be a helpful tool. Picture the future version of yourself who has achieved their goals and ask what choices that version of you would make today. Every decision, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming that person. Finally, let us not forget the importance of celebrating progress, no matter how incremental it may seem. Each small victory reinforces your belief in your ability to stay disciplined, creating a positive feedback loop that fuels continued growth. Building self-mastery is not an overnight transformation. It is a lifelong practice, one rooted in patience, persistence, and self-compassion. By taking intentional steps each day, we cultivate the resilience and focus needed to steer our lives in the direction of our highest values. Let us now think about what small habit or sacrifice we can begin today that will serve our greater purpose, guiding us closer to the freedom that comes with true self-mastery. Now turning to the profound wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, his quote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy," challenges us to rethink our approach to conflict and negativity. In moments of anger or hurt, the instinct to retaliate often feels like justice. Yet, Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in rising above such impulses. Instead of reacting with hostility, we retain our dignity and integrity by choosing a path of grace. Picture a situation where someone insults you publicly. While the natural reaction might be to snap back, imagine instead calmly responding with composure or even silence. This not only diffuses the situation but also reflects your strength of character. Consider individuals like Martin Luther King Jr., who exemplified the power of non-retaliation. In the face of hatred, he chose peace and compassion, inspiring transformative change rather than perpetuating cycles of hostility. Every time we resist the urge to mirror someone's negativity, we strengthen our ability to remain true to our values. This does not mean letting others walk over us. It means refusing to let their actions define our behavior. By consciously choosing a higher standard, we disarm our adversaries and maintain control over ourselves. As we reflect on this quote, let us ask ourselves, how can we respond to challenges in ways that reflect our best selves rather than our worst impulses? Moving forward, let us explore practical techniques for releasing grudges and embracing the liberating power of forgiveness. Moving forward, let us delve deeper into the art of transcending grudges and discovering the freedom that comes with forgiveness. At its core, holding on to resentment often harms us more than the person who wronged us, acting as a weight that slows our growth and clouds our minds. Forgiveness, in contrast, is not about excusing harmful behavior or forgetting past wounds. It is about choosing to release the emotional grip these experiences have over us, regaining control of our peace and focus. A remarkable example of this can be found in the life of Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison, he emerged not consumed by bitterness, but instead extended his hand in reconciliation, demonstrating an extraordinary grace that united a fractured nation. Imagine the inner strength it takes to look beyond years of injustice and choose to build bridges rather than walls. On a more personal level, freeing ourselves from grudges can start with small, intentional acts. Perhaps it is writing a letter, not to send but to express and release your emotions. Or it could involve reframing the situation to understand that others often act out of their own pain or ignorance rather than deliberate malice. This perspective fosters empathy, a cornerstone of forgiveness. Each time we choose to let go of resentment, we reclaim a piece of ourselves that was tied to the past. The beauty of this practice is that it does not depend on others' acknowledgement or apology. It is an entirely internal act of liberation. Now, think about a conflict or grudge you might still be holding onto. How would your life feel if you decided to let it go? As we reflect on the power of forgiveness, let us prepare to embrace the next timeless Stoic lesson that challenges us to live fully in the present moment. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us turn our attention to Seneca's profound reminder: begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This timeless call to action invites us to fully embrace the present moment, shedding the tendency to delay happiness for an uncertain future. How often do we fall into the trap of thinking, "I will be happy when I achieve this goal," or "I will enjoy life once this challenge is over"? Days, weeks, even years can slip away as we chase milestones, always waiting for the perfect time to start living. But in the Stoic view, there is no better moment than now. Consider someone who postpones quality time with loved ones, believing they will make up for it after a promotion or the completion of some major project. Yet life's fragility reminds us that tomorrow is never guaranteed. Imagine instead the richness of savoring a quiet evening, laughing with your family, or walking in nature with a friend, fully present and undistracted. These small, seemingly ordinary moments are, in truth, extraordinary, a daily opportunity to experience life's fullness. One inspiring example comes from the story of a young cancer survivor who, after facing mortality, shifted her perspective entirely. She began treating each day as a gift, focusing on moments of joy and connection rather than worrying about distant achievements. Her journey reminds us that the present is all we truly have. To put this into practice, consider setting aside time each day to appreciate what is currently within your reach, whether it is enjoying a meal, expressing gratitude to someone, or simply pausing to take a deep breath and acknowledge the life around you. Each day, treated as a complete and separate life of its own, carries infinite possibilities for fulfillment. As we reflect on this empowering message, let us now journey into another timeless Stoic insight that underscores the power of preparation in shaping our destiny. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us delve deeper into the art of living in the present as guided by Seneca's wisdom. Embracing the present moment is a practice that requires intentionality, yet it offers profound rewards. One of the most effective ways to anchor ourselves in the now is through mindfulness. This doesn't have to mean sitting in long meditation sessions, although that can be beneficial. Simply pausing throughout the day to focus on your breath, observe your surroundings, or truly listen during a conversation can ground you in the here and now. Another powerful tool is creating small, deliberate breaks in our routines, moments free from distractions like phones or endless to-do lists. For example, setting aside 10 minutes to sip tea while noticing its warmth and flavor, or taking a brief walk outside to feel the sun on your face and the ground beneath your feet can transform the ordinary into something meaningful. Additionally, consider the practice of gratitude journaling. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you are thankful for, no matter how simple they may seem. This habit encourages you to reflect on the beauty already present in your life, shifting focus away from what is missing. The key lies in viewing the present not as a stepping stone to a future moment, but as the destination itself. Think of someone you may know or have heard of who changed their outlook by focusing on the now. Perhaps a busy professional who once felt overwhelmed with work but began prioritizing mindful practices like these and found greater contentment and clarity. Their transformation illustrates that living in the present is not about abandoning goals but rather enriching the journey towards them. As we integrate these practices into our lives, let us transition to another enduring Stoic truth that demonstrates how preparation and perseverance can turn life's uncertainties into opportunities. Now turning to Seneca's timeless insight, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We uncover a powerful reminder about the synergy between effort and readiness. Too often, we attribute success to sheer chance, overlooking the relentless work and determination that build a foundation for those so-called lucky moments. Imagine someone preparing tirelessly, honing their skills or knowledge in obscurity, only to have an unexpected opportunity arise that aligns perfectly with their efforts. It is not luck in the traditional sense, it is the culmination of their preparation meeting the right moment. Take, for instance, a small business owner who spends years refining their craft and building relationships. When the chance to collaborate with a major partner arises, they are ready to seize it, transforming what might appear to be a stroke of luck into the reward of consistent hard work. Similarly, think of an aspiring athlete who trains daily, improving their performance and discipline. When an unexpected opening in a competitive team comes along, their readiness allows them to step up and claim it. This principle isn't limited to grand achievements. It can also apply to everyday life. Consider how investing time in self-improvement, learning a skill, or maintaining connections often leads to unforeseen opportunities, whether it is landing a new job, discovering a passion, or forming meaningful relationships. The key takeaway here is to always be preparing to approach each day with the mindset that your efforts today are laying the groundwork for tomorrow's possibilities. It reminds us that luck isn't purely random. It favors those who are persistent and proactive, ready to act when opportunity knocks. Preparing for the unexpected is not just about anticipating what might happen, but about becoming the kind of person who is equipped to handle whatever does. Think about what areas of your life could benefit from consistent preparation. Are there skills you wish to develop, goals you've been putting off, or habits you could cultivate? The process of preparation not only empowers you but also builds a sense of confidence and control over your future. As this principle takes root in your mindset, let us now explore another profound truth, a call to embrace the brevity of life and let it shape our thoughts, actions, and priorities. Now turning to how you can create your own luck, let's explore the practical steps that transform effort into opportunity. First, think about the power of setting clear, actionable goals. When you have a roadmap in place, your energy becomes focused and purposeful, guiding you steadily toward progress. For instance, if you aim to excel in a specific profession, break that goal into smaller, manageable milestones, such as acquiring certifications, gaining hands-on experience, or seeking mentorship. These steps not only build your expertise, but also position you to recognize and grasp opportunities when they appear. Networking is another key element. By surrounding yourself with supportive and motivated individuals, you expand your access to information, advice, and potential collaborations. Imagine attending events or joining communities related to your field of interest. A simple conversation with the right person could open doors you never expected. But remember, networking isn't about taking. It's about building genuine connections and providing value to others, which creates a mutually beneficial dynamic. Another way to cultivate readiness is by consistently honing your skills. Whether it is learning a new language, mastering a software program, or refining a technical ability, every skill you develop adds a layer to your preparedness. Think of a graphic designer who continually explores the latest tools and trends. When a high-profile project arises requiring cutting-edge techniques, their commitment to skill building transforms what might seem like luck into a well-earned opportunity. One inspiring example involves an author who spent years refining their craft and writing quietly without recognition. When a publishing opportunity finally came along, their dedication to preparation ensured their work was ready to shine. Such stories remind us that the so-called lucky breaks are often the result of countless hours of unseen effort. This principle of creating your own luck is empowering because it puts the power in your hands. Rather than waiting passively for fortune to favor you, it encourages you to show up, do the work, and trust that opportunities will align with your efforts. Bridges to success are not stumbled upon, they are built brick by brick through consistency, determination, and an open mind. As you reflect on how to seize the reins of your own destiny, let us now turn to a deeply profound Stoic truth, embracing life's impermanence to live with greater clarity and purpose. Now turning to the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, his words, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think," serve as a profound reminder of life's fleeting nature. At its core, this quote urges us to confront the reality that our time here is limited, not with fear, but with a sense of purpose and clarity. Imagine how different our choices would be if we truly acknowledged the impermanence of life. Would we spend more time on meaningful pursuits and less on trivial arguments? Would we express gratitude more often or show greater kindness to those around us? This awareness, often referred to in Stoicism as memento mori, or remembering death, is not about dwelling on the end, but about using that awareness to live fully in the present. Think of someone pausing to admire a sunrise, savoring the stillness of the moment, realizing that such experiences are finite but beautiful precisely because of their impermanence. When we accept that each day could be our last, it becomes easier to prioritize what truly matters. We find ourselves focusing more on genuine connections, personal growth, and contributing meaningfully to the world, rather than chasing superficial distractions or unnecessary stress. For instance, someone who embraces this mindset might finally pursue a lifelong passion, like writing a book or starting a small business, knowing they have nothing to lose by living authentically. Every action, every word, and every thought becomes more deliberate, infused with intentionality. This quote is not meant to evoke despair, but to light a fire within, a call to align our lives with our values and not waste a moment being anything less than our best selves. By carrying this principle with us, we are reminded to approach each day as an opportunity to leave a positive mark, however small, on the world around us. And so, as we move forward, let us reflect on how acknowledging the brevity of life can inspire us to live with greater clarity, courage, and purpose. With the next phase of the journey in sight, living purposefully starts with aligning our daily actions to reflect our deepest values and priorities. This is not about grand, sweeping changes, but rather a series of small, intentional steps that together create a life of meaning. Imagine someone who, after contemplating the impermanence of life, decides to rekindle a relationship with an estranged family member. By letting go of old grudges and choosing compassion, they rediscover the joy of connection and find peace in healing old wounds. Another person might reevaluate how they spend their time, opting to reduce hours on mindless scrolling or unfulfilling tasks, instead dedicating those moments to building skills, creating art, or volunteering in their community. These deliberate choices often stem from reflecting on what truly matters in the grander scheme of things. Take the story of a busy professional who once prioritized their career above all else, only to realize through the lens of mortality that family and health deserved equal, if not more, attention. By shifting their focus, they began carving out time for evening walks with loved ones, finding both balance and fulfillment in the process. The beauty of living purposefully lies in its accessibility. Anyone can begin right now simply by asking, is this decision honoring who I am and what I value? When we approach life with this question, our actions feel less like obligations and more like opportunities to grow closer to our best selves. It is this alignment that allows for both clarity and courage, helping us navigate challenges with intention and grace. Facing difficult choices, we can draw strength from knowing that our time is precious and finite, using this awareness to make bold decisions like pursuing a career change, moving to a new city, or finally acting on ideas we have long shelved due to fear or doubt. Every small choice to live in alignment with our priorities, whether it is spending quality time with loved ones or practicing gratitude for the present moment, serves as a testament to a life well lived. By embracing the fleeting nature of existence, we empower ourselves to focus on what truly counts, leaving behind a legacy of purpose and authenticity. As we reflect on how we can make each day meaningful, let us turn to our next reflection, which speaks to having the courage to demand more from ourselves and strive for the best life has to offer. As the sun rises on the next chapter, we are greeted with a powerful question. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? This challenge from Epictetus speaks directly to the heart of procrastination and self-doubt, urging us to stop delaying the pursuit of our dreams. Picture someone who has long dreamed of starting their own business but feels paralyzed by fear of failure. One day, they decide enough is enough and take the first step, whether it is researching their market, creating a simple plan, or simply reaching out to a mentor for guidance. Each of these actions, however small, builds momentum, and soon their dream begins to take shape. Or think about the student who struggles with self-doubt, convinced they are not smart enough to excel in their chosen field. By committing to a consistent study routine and seeking support from peers or tutors, they slowly start to believe in their abilities, leading to a breakthrough moment, perhaps acing an exam or landing an internship. These transformations do not happen overnight, but are the result of demanding more from ourselves, even when it feels daunting. Consider the story of someone who spent years working in a job that drained their energy, clinging to the comfort of security despite their unhappiness. Inspired by this quote, they muster the courage to pursue a career they are truly passionate about, such as teaching, writing, or starting a non-profit. The initial steps may be intimidating, but by taking action, they find fulfillment that outweighs their initial fears. Demanding the best for ourselves is not about perfection. It is about refusing to settle for mediocrity when we are capable of so much more. It involves identifying our deepest desires, silencing the inner critic, and taking deliberate steps forward, no matter how uncertain the path may seem. With each small victory, confidence grows and the sense of purpose becomes undeniable. So, what is one meaningful step you can take today to move closer to your best life? As we ponder this, let us remember that the greatest reward lies not just in achieving our goals, but in becoming the person we were meant to be along the way. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us delve deeper into how we can truly demand the best from life. Overcoming inertia often starts with a clear vision of what we want to achieve. Visualization can be a powerful tool. Here, imagine yourself already living the life you aspire to, whether it is excelling in a career you love, building meaningful relationships, or achieving a personal milestone. This mental image creates a sense of purpose that fuels action. But visualization alone is not enough. It must be paired with a solid plan. Breaking larger goals into smaller, actionable steps makes them far less intimidating. For example, if you dream of running a marathon, start by committing to a daily walk or a short jog. Over time, these small efforts compound into significant progress. Finding accountability partners can also make a world of difference. Sharing your goals with a trusted friend, mentor, or community creates a sense of responsibility and provides encouragement when motivation wanes. Picture someone who has long struggled with fitness, finally finding consistency by joining a running group where members cheer each other on. Stories of transformation often center on the courage to start despite fear or uncertainty. Take the example of someone who has always dreamed of launching their own podcast but held back due to self-doubt. By taking one step, recording a single episode, they begin to build confidence, eventually growing a platform that reaches thousands with their voice. Or imagine an artist who hesitated to share their work publicly, fearing rejection. By posting their first piece online, they uncover a supportive audience, validating their talent and opening doors they never thought possible. Self-belief is a muscle that strengthens with use. Every small step forward, however imperfect, reinforces the idea that we are capable of more than we give ourselves credit for. As we rise above complacency, we not only transform our external circumstances but also evolve internally, becoming resilient, determined, and deeply aligned with our true selves. So, as we reflect on the concept of demanding the best from life, let us ask, what bold but simple step can we take today to move closer to the life we envision for ourselves? Remember, the journey is just as transformative as the destination. As the sun sets on this intellectual journey through 15 transformative Stoic quotes, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound lessons they offer. Each quote we explored is more than just a collection of words. They are guiding principles, time-tested philosophies that encourage us to see life through a lens of clarity, purpose, and inner strength. From recognizing the power of our thoughts and actions to embracing challenges with grace, these insights illuminate a path to living more authentically and meaningfully. They remind us to focus on what we can control, to rise above external noise, and to align our lives with our true values. Stoicism is not about perfection. It is about progress, small, deliberate steps toward becoming the best version of ourselves. So, as you look back on these timeless principles, ask yourself, how will you rethink your life today? Which of these quotes resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let these ideas spark a ripple effect of wisdom and growth. If this journey through Stoic philosophy has inspired you, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more content that challenges your perspective and fuels your growth. Together, let us continue to explore the ideas that shape not just how we think but how we live.